Hi guys, sorry I'm back again. My phone called and that's why I kicked out from the live. And sorry you guys still watching and I feel that I have to come back. So um, let's just say thank you for DM and beautiful emails that I received from every each of you that do really care about Julia and about Julia's life and about Julia's health and about who Julia is. We both are so thankful and so grateful for this love and kindness. And I have to say, almost 88% of you out there, they are really supporting Julia, loving Julia, and really wanted that Julia is going to go somewhere with, her life. And also, I'm sure that a lot of you sending email and ask me and beg me that I have to continue to support Julia even after if she's not Madeline McCann, which is I am going to promise you guys here that I'm not going to leave Julia alone and I'm going to support her and I will bring justice to Julia's life again. Um, and whatever she went through, whatever the mother did for her at the age of 7 to 9, and a lot of other things that had happened to her. It's so important to me to address, and it's so important to me that the justice really happened to Julia's life. So many questions, almost like I got over 3,000 questions, which was always kind of the similar, which one of the topic of those questions was that um, did you communicate with that doctor who prescribed about 35 pills and what was their answer and what they said? Yes, of course, we did communicate with that doctor. Of course, we basically asked about the medical chart. Julia called by herself and said that, well, this is Julia Wendell and I need my chart. I'm a patient and I have a patient right to have access to my chart, a medical chart. And the secretary said something like on Polish and then basically said that, your chart is not here anymore and I couldn't find your chart. And it could be two reasons. Maybe we gave it to your mom, or maybe when we moved, um, your chart went missing because a lot of patients' chart went missing as well. I was okay. And to me, as an investigator, when you ask someone friendly about evidence and this person trying to fool you in some point or actually come back with some silly answers, you immediately know that they are hiding something. Because how come that you're a doctor and you have a medical chart of Julia from the age of 7 to 9, which you prescribed 35 medications to Julia, but you do not have any copy of any of that? And because you moved, oops, I just, lost that medical chart. And at some point, oops, that medical chart was Julia's Vandal chart. Wow. I mean, to me, again, you don't need to even be an investigator. I think you can be a normal person and kind of judge that this is fishy. And I called by myself and I introduced myself and I said I would love to talk to the doctor. And then she said he can't speak English um, and you can just talk to me because I can speak English. And I said, well, you're not a doctor, you're a secretary, and I don't even know you. And I want to talk to the doctor. Is it possible that you go with the doctor and translate it for me, though? So put it on the speakerphone, and I can ask doctor in English, and you can basically translate, and I can wait. I can spend about 2 hours for that. Um, then she said that, oh no, he's not here. Then he's on some trip out of town, not coming back until 3 weeks, and afterward, I mean, he's gonna take vacation. I said, oh wow, but that doctor is not gonna work at all. I mean, like the office is gonna be occupied because the doctor will be three weeks away from the town, and then also back after it's gonna be for 3 months vacation. Oh wow, the doctor will be gone for 6 months from his practice, and nobody even care about the patients. And then she was like, well, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about it, and I'm going to hang up right now. Okay, and she hung up on me. So I asked my team, which I thought that, okay, in a friendly way, I couldn't really get any medical chart. But maybe I should do true law and a little bit in a different language, the law language, asked this doctor. Maybe he's going to be pretty concerned and worried, and gave me that medical chart. And funny enough that nobody answered that email, nobody answered any phone calls afterward, and it sounds like the secretary went to the vacation with the doctor as well. However, even the doctor is in vacation, and in some point some silly things happen. Oops, and Julia Wendell chart got and went missing. Um, uh, the lawyer would love to figure it out how things happen and how the medical chart went missing. So again, we're still in the middle of the investigation of that doctor to figure it out. Uh, what he's trying to hide, what he's trying to do, and how he is trying to hide himself. Maybe he wants to hide himself for 6 months, going to vacation, to think about that me or my team will back off and not really going after the medical child anymore. Well, I have to say that's wrong, because my investigation is just started. And again, um, through so many years that I work as a private investigator with my partner Brad in Texas and even other places, we always actually ask friendly about evidence, and we never try to force people. We never try to go after, oh, let's just like get that things done this way or other way. But if it's not necessary. But when you ask nicely, and this person trying to fool with some very stupid answer, um, that definitely raising a lot of concern about that. That, ooh, whoa, oops, what they really try to hide. So, and another questions that a lot of you ask is about Peter Ney, and who is Peter Ney? Peter Ney is a pedophile and a child trafficker, pedophile, which basically have been convicted before whatever Julia have been convicted, or basically convicted for Julia's case. So he was pretty known before basically molesting Julia or raping Julia in some point. However, who is Peter Ney though? And then a lot of you ask like why Peter Ney had access to Julia. Well, because Julia's grandmother, which is the mother of the mother, was married and is still married with this guy for 20 years. So, and they lived about 3 hours driving away from the daughter house. So when Julia's mother starting to work, and I don't know what it was, so that Julia's mom and nanny would basically come and took care of Julia, which is every time that the grandmother would come to the house of Julia, the step grandfather, which the name is Peter Ney, came together with the grandmother and is staying in Julia's house and done anything and everything he wanted with Julia's body at the age of 7 to the age of 9. So mostly he did everything what he could to use and abuse a little body of Julia, which back then was very tiny and super skinny and also very emotional. So when Julia told the mother that this guy hurting me and I got hurt and I feel bad and he's not stopping when I says it's hurting me and I had a blood, what should I do, mom? Is it okay to letting him to continue, or can you tell him to be gentle with me? So the mother, instead at listening, to Julia, sending Julia together with the mom and the step grandfather, which name is Peter Ney, to the Karen father of Julia, which is the Karen father live 8 hours away from the place that Julia lived. So she put Julia inside of the car for 8 hours, 8 hours to take Julia to the father house. Julia told me that Peter Ney shouted, been very nasty and rude to Julia, and threatened Julia to death in front of the grandmother, that I will kill you and I will do more bad things about you if you open your mouth and telling anyone about what happened between us. You have to keep quiet. And on the way, he told her that if you continue that way, I will make sure that you're going to end up in the street or in the mental hospital. So if you want to survive, you need to shut your mouth. So another shocking things that I found, many of you asking about her dad. That who's her dad? Well, I ask myself too. Julia's dad never have been involved in Julia's life. Julia's dad never, ever raised Julia in any ways. Julia's dad was just the name and basically had some sort of communication with Julia in some point because he was a nice guy and wanted to make sure that Julia's safe. To me, it was like, why Julia's father did not really move forward when Julia told dad that I'm getting molested by that guy. Because if you're a father and your kids is with mother and your daughter come to you and says, Dad, this guy is hurting me, what is the first response from the dad? Of course, I would talk directly to the mother and I will go and talk to that guy and I will make sure that I have to protect you from your own mother. Just because your mother doesn't care about your health, doesn't care about your well-being, doesn't care about you at all, because it should never ever happen that anyone in a very improper way going after my daughter. That's the normal reaction of any father who got divorced with the mother and the mother chose to take care of the kids. So he didn't really give too much of reaction beside that, warn Julia about to relax and open her eyes, and when he's around, don't be around, go somewhere else, go play with somebody else, and don't let him to touch you and whatever, like a simple advice. Deep into that birth certificate, which is a lot of questions came out to me last night after my lives about birth certificate and why she has a passport. Well, Julia's dad worked as a radiologist technician somewhere in a place that they both, mom and dad, said to her that you born in that hospital. And the dad is not working there anymore. He changed the job almost 6 months, 3 months after Julia born in that hospital, which is, to me was like, okay, there is a theory, and in my opinion, as an investigator, the first things that come to my mind is that Julia's father may be only a father on the paper, maybe they paid him to sign or bring some document from that hospital, um, and put his name as a father, to make sure that they can move forward with, other, documents like, identity or ID card or, passport or anything. Because why he quit his job 3 months after from that hospital, and why Julia's dad never had been in Julia's life physically and always talking on the phone, and why Julia's dad basically live 8 hours away from Julia's home. So normally when you are co-parenting, and you guys got divorced or separated, the first things you do is that you want to have a place next to the ex, or basically at least close by, that if anything happened to the kids, then you would do something about it. But why the father has to move 8 hours away, go to another town that no one even know him, and then find a job there and get married? So another theory that came to me, it was that the father always gave a hint to Julia that your mother is not maybe the real mother or whatever. It's like hinting about things, that something is weird and missing. So the real father would not do such things like that, because you don't want to bring any animosity and craziness in between mom and daughter by trying to warn her about things. So to me, Julia's father is someone that was on a paper. They used the name of him, and because they want to get that birth certificate. And when we went to that hospital, there was no online or legit things as a birth certificate. It sounds like it never had been registered in that hospital, but that birth certificate must be legit enough as a paper, and his name was on it, which is that what they said. But that's why they could basically get the ID and passport and everything for Julia. But to me, was like, okay, it sounded like my theory kind of pretty colorful at this moment, because we need to kind of like do more investigation about the situation right now to figure it out, what is going on with that. And the only person that did not block Julia, it was basically Karen's father, but did not answer her either, and did not guide her either in any ways, but is still reading the messages and did not block her yet. So to me, again, as a very kind man that wanted to help Julia in some point, but he can't say exactly what's going on and tell the truth to Julia. And even when Julia asked, Dad, why you're not telling me, why you're not doing the DNA test? At least one of them, the dad said that I don't want to. And on top of that, your mom should, not me. And also said that I am here for you, but even if you found out I'm not your real dad, is it going to change the love that we have in between? So Julia basically says, no, nothing will change. I just needed to know who am I. So again, that question that you guys asked, I need to address about the Julia's father. Julia never lived with a father. The mother said that when she was 2.5 years old, the father left, and they never basically wanted to be with each other afterward. And the father cried a lot because wanted to see the Julia and whatever basically she pretended to say about the situation. So I have to say, I'm pretty shocked by how the mother tried to make up stories, even to Julia, about her father. And then why she would not even live with the father and be with the father at all. So again, the theory, in my opinion, if someone just signed a name and maybe forged that birth certificate, why would he even care what's going on with Julia and the mother? But he still tried to care about Julia and wanted to get in touch with Julia because I believe, in my theory, he knew that Julia's mom is not a trustworthy person. And maybe as a human, as a person that wanted to care about the kid, so maybe I should be kind of indirectly part of her life and guide her in some way to make sure that the mother, or protecting basically her towards mother. So again, um, the lot of things, it's not making any sense for us, especially who live in UK, US, Australia, because I mean the way that we see things and feel things is completely different than in Poland in so many ways. So the question that you guys asked me about was the magazines and press and any type of press and Polish press confirmed that Julia, it's not Madeleine McCann, that confirmed by the press police that they saw Bert's first birth certificate and the DNA is not matched with Madeleine family and all this. And then what's going on? What should we believe? Should we believe in them? Should we believe in you? Should we believe in who? Well, the fan page in UK, which is our team is investigating about who's the owner or who's behind that fan page, posting that the mother of Julia begged for help as a mother, as a sister, as a very, very, very hopeless person to helping my daughter, to not hurting herself more and damaging. And we are so sorry for Madeleine McCann family that needed to go through that pain. And make everyone get emotional and feel bad for the mother. Oh, some girl, mental health condition. Oh, now she's bleeding inside and out. Just because the mother is so, so, so sad and so scared. Playing with some very intelligent people who are out there. It's crazy. Playing game with their emotions. So I flew all the way to Poland. We went to 3 police stations. Number one, which is I have a documentary on that. I basically played, took picture. Even we were not allowed to, but we did because we wanted to bring evidence to a lot of people that want to ask if it's right or not. So the first station was the biggest one, which was involved with secret services and, like a secret police and civil police and other things, which was pretty heavy duty stuff, which related to all the death threats, online death threats, and even anything that related to other crimes, which is on the secret things. And if there is anything out there of the country, they would be the first people that investigate about the situation. So we went there to take about 45 minutes for 2 guys to come down. The one was civil and then the one with the uniform. And they have been super nice to me and to Julia and even to my assistant. We all three are standing there and waiting impatiently. And after half an hour conversations in between Julia and them, which make me crazy because I couldn't speak that language. I couldn't understand what Julia says. And gosh, no, God knows. This language is like, it's like, oh my God, you guys are so fast talking, but can you just explain to me what you guys talking and what's happening? So Julia laugh and just say that, yeah, the guy will explain it to you. And I said, who is the guy? And the guy says, well, you know, the civil police basically said that I do understand English and I speak English. And I was like, what was the reason that you didn't talk to me? And then why you even, I mean, and he was like, well, that was my set to figure it out who you are and see the conversation in between you and Julia, or understand the conversation in between you and Julia, that what is your agenda exactly. So I said, well, this is me, this is my badge. I'm a private investigator in the US. But you know what? At this moment, I'm going to investigate the situation about the mother of Julia. The name is this and this and this. And her statement is about that she went to the police, and there is a press police that already put the name out there and said that Julia is not Madeleine McCann, and basically whatever Julia said in the live, or whatever in social media, is all lies, and Julia is our daughter, and we are begging you and urging you guys to helping us to get Julia. Julia needs hospital. Julia needs health care, mental health care. And I just want to know if you know that guy. And if you know that guy, we would love to get connect with that, because I'm a spokesperson and I would love to talk that guy. And I would like to know what type of evidence the mother provide to that police officer, that this police officer went as a press police and mentioned that she's not Madeleine McCann. So he looked at me deeply in my eye and said, you look like a smart girl, and you were a private investigator in US. So I can answer your question with one simple explanation. And he said, there's a law in Poland. In any circumstances, we are not getting involved with any missing person cases outside of our country until the country that the person had been missed or vanished connect with us and wanted us to collaborate and connect with them, which is that process will be in between 6 months to 1 year when even we make a decision to get engaged with any missing persons cases outside of the country. So I look at him and I said, I think I got my answer. Thank you, sir. So we showed the fan page. He looked at the fan page and said, this is a UK based. This is not even in Poland. This is Poland language, but whatever they copy paste and said, we can stop them. They can do whatever they wanted to say. And we don't really care. And he said, I think you got your answer. I was like, interesting. And we went out. They hugged Julia. They gave Julia a lot of comfort. They told Julia that they are so sorry that she has to go through this pain. And they are sorry that the mother did not want it and willing to do the DNA test. They advised Julia to go to the lawyer and sue the mother for defamation. And also advised me to, with the help of the lawyer, figure it out the rest of things that belong to Julia. So we went to another police stations because again, I was stubborn. I told Julia that I am not going to give up on that. But again, maybe we have to go to the local police. Maybe the place that you left, maybe your mother went there. I still want to go and pursue that. We have to drive. She said, Fia, it's 2.5 hours drive and we're going to get in traffic right now. I said, I don't care. I want to drive. I want to go to Lubin, the local police in Lubin, and I want to make sure that the mother maybe went to your local area. And I want to make sure if these things happen and it's real. We get in the car. It took about 2.5 hours to drive. Of course, it was in the middle of the traffic. Julia does not like traffic. She get easily panic inside of the car when there is too much car, too many people, even actually in the mall. So again, we went and we got the same answer. The funny part was the guy couldn't speak English at all, but I could see through the body language when Julia named that guy as a press police, and that guy is named, this is a email address and this is a number. He kind of like had this body language like no, 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 like that this is not, I don't know that person and we don't have such a person by that name here. Wow. Okay. And I asked Julia, can we do now? And she said, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. So we waited until tomorrow. And I could convince her to take me to the place that the mother working as a manager of some store. And I wanted to see the location, the place that she's living, and the location that is the nearest police station. But I didn't tell Julia that I'm gonna go to the police stations because I knew it that she's not gonna help me to find it because she already got pissed that okay, the first one said that and that's it. I said no. That's why I am PI because I have to have more clarification in order to accept the fact. So we went to the shop and I said, let me just try and see if I can meet with your mom. So she almost shaked and was very, very worried and was like, Fia, I'm sure she's not going to come out. She's not going to want to see you. I'm sure she's not going to talk to you. I said, Julia, one thing that you should know about life and about me that I never give up. She's going to say, okay, back off. I don't want to see you. And I'm going to be fine. But I want to try. If I do not try, then shame on me. I want to try. So we went in. She said, I don't want to come. I said, like, you have to because I don't know the language. They don't know English. How can I talk to them? How can I say about that I need to talk to that guy or that girl? You need to come and you have to be with me. So she came, but you could see Julia's face was completely pale, white of fears. And I holding her hand and it's just like, oh my God, you're so cool, Julia. Are you okay? And she said, yeah, I am. Okay, what should I do now? I said, relax. I just wanted you to ask the guy that when your mother will work in that shop or if she's available, and I wanted to have any conversation or a very nice conversation with your mother. Julia went to the guy. They spoke about 5 minutes. And afterward, I see that Julia come back and just say, let's go for in here. Let's go for in here. So like, what happened? I said, let's go for in here, Fia. So basically the guy said that, get out of here. Other one, I want to call the cops on you and on your friend. Wow. Be walking would just say, "Hi, how are you? Can we talk to a person that named this?" And the person want to call the cops on us? Hmm. Well, another red flags to me as an investigator. Ooh. So, however, when we went out, I said, Julia, I have one simple request, and I know that you're going to hate me forever, but can you take me to the nearest police station next to the train station that your mom basically work? And she was like screaming at me and says, Fia, what you trying to prove? We already called that number. The number was out of service. And you already emailed, your team emailed, and everything bounced back. Why are you trying to take me to another places? I hate to go to the police. I hate to be there. It's just remind me about everything. And I was always scared of officers because my mom told me that they are scary. My mom told me that they can hurt me. My mom told me they can put me in jail. So it's like, really? Your mom told you that police officers are a stranger and you should never go to police officers and they are dangerous and they can put you in jail without no reason? That's what her life was, to be scared of any authorities and police because the mother knew that she can go and she can tell the truth about what happened to her. However, I said, right now, Julia, we don't have to deal with your PTSD at this time. We need to do something about your identity. We need to figure it out. We need to tell the world that what your mother said, that statement was a lie. So we went to the third police stations, which was pretty close to the stations that mother worked. Two shops, and she is a manager for those two shops. So we were there, waited about another 1 hour, which Julia was almost like on the way to kill me, but like I didn't listen to her, and she's hungry, and when she's hungry, whole world will stay for Julia. You can talk to her, you can communicate with her, you can even ask her a question. So I was like, oh my God, I'm hungry too, but I'm not like you, Julia. Come on, just cooperate. And she was so mad that I told you I don't want to go to police anymore. I'm done. We already did 2 times. So whatever. In 1 hour, what we did together in order to convince her to stay and relax, then the very nice gentleman, a police gentleman, come and said, sorry for waiting. We just like shorten people, and that's why we have like alarm or whatever. And now I'm here to, to helping you guys. And I said, my name is this and that. This is my badge. I'm a spokesperson. I'm a private investigator. I'm actually helping look all the situation again. So then he said, I don't know anyone and I have no record or anything on my computer by that name, which was Julia's mom's name, that come to us and put any statement, give us any DNA test, or gave us any birth certificate or anything. I don't even know what your guys talking about. That police officer could actually spoke a little bit English, but not too good. But I could absolutely understand what he tried to tell me. So I said, okay, I got my answer. Thank you, sir. And Julia just looked at me like, are you done now? Are you done now? I said, yes, I am. And I'm not going to take you to any police stations anymore. I give up. You're right. So, and when we went out, something came to my mind that, oh, maybe that guy could um, write something and saying about that the mother lied or something like that, that I may have it like with someone or basically prove it in US, because a lot of people online thought that Julia is lying, and that could be a good evidence to show that the mother is lying and the mother is doing all those crazy statements. So we went, I went back again, which is Julia didn't come in because again, she was very mad at me. And I was like, okay, Julia, just give me one simple second. And I went in and I asked the guy very friendly that is it possible for you to write us some note that Julia's mom or that name that I give it to you never basically came to you to any police stations. And he said, I can't really do that. And the only way you can prove it is that suing the mother for defamation and the lawyer basically going to after her mother and take her to the court. And then if she used any name of our officers, then we are going to basically get in the middle as well. And that maybe that we are suing her as well for using our name or basically any type of the name to prove that she did communicate with us or anything. So I said, okay, I understand. So it sounded like I couldn't get it in a friendly way, but I have to go through the law. And that's what basically he said, yes, because if I do, my boss will kick me out because usually we are not giving any statement like that. But all I have to say that there is nothing in our data that's saying that this woman by this name came to stations and any stations and do anything. And definitely for sure, she has no press police. And we went out. And of course, afterward, because Julia was so tired and was also so hungry, so we went to the restaurant. We eat a very good, delicious food. And through that time, I had time to communicate with Julia about certain other things, which one of them was about that Julia had been in hospital for like two times from 2000 for 10 days. One time for 10 days, another was 23 days and as it started 2019 and 2018 and 2019. So I said, Julia, tomorrow we have to go to that hospital and I want to get involved with your chart and getting your medical chart and to make sure that why they hospitalized you and what was the issue. So Julia is so innocent and Julia is so true and so honest person. She has no filter. I mean, she can say things very fast and spontaneously taking action on things and basically telling the truth. So she's not, she can't even, she's too innocent and she's too naive to even know how to false things, how to lie about things. And you can see on her emotion when she wants to defend herself. Even if you ask a question, just as an investigator, I need to ask question twice. This is my job. Oh God, she could be all over the place and cry and defending. I was just like, come on, it's just not about that to say that you're lying. It's all about that I need to be sure about what you say. I have to compare those truths together. So you have to help me, Julia. So again, we had kind of drama with Julia about like to answer those questions. And at the end, she said that, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of things that missing, and I'm sorry if I'm not really feel good to cooperate, but yes, we will go tomorrow and we will figure it out the rest. Which is we went to that hospital and they said that, oh, the chart is not ready, you have to come tomorrow. But this is the name of the lady. You go directly there. It took almost like 45 minutes, 1 hour for us to find a place and then finding the lady that should basically go to that database and basically finding this stuff. So she said, what do you want to know about that chart? I tried to kill myself because I'm tired, Fia. I was tired and had nothing to lose. And my stepfather kicked me out from the house. My mother never helped me, and she hated me, and I hated myself because my mother never loved me. So I always believed that I maybe was a sin kid or some kid that should never actually come to my mother life. That's why she hates me so bad. And there's nothing that you can find on those chart. I said, well, there is. I'm an investigator. I want to go through every single treatments that you received and what type of treatment they gave it to you as a person that you have been suicidal. and what type of medication you were on, because there is all legit for me as a private investigator, because I have to discover every single details of those things. If those medications that you received from your mother put you through this suicidal imagination or kind of um, action, or if it's other things, everything right now needed to be investigated pretty closely. So we went, and of course, I put in my bag a couple bars and chocolate, because I knew that she's going to get hungry. And if she's getting hungry, there's no way that she would cooperate and translate anything for me. So I needed her so badly as a translator. And she, when she actually see the chocolate and having some chocolate in her mouth, then she was the most amazing and loving kid. But then directly, if the blood sugar, like when the blood sugar went down, gosh, I wouldn't even ask any question, not even ask her that, where is the restroom? So she was like, you're not seeing it? Right there. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just asking. This is a new country. I don't know. So, however, it's a pleasure to really have Julia around myself, because she's fun to be around. At the same time, she has no joke. When it came to when she's tired, she's tired. When she's hungry, she's hungry. When she wants to say something, she has no filter. She can say, and she doesn't care who you are. She doesn't know what type of position you have, and all those things. So again, we went and we got the news there as well. So to me, it was like, wow, the mother communicating through her daughter, which she said to everyone in a very, very, very emotional way, that I am so concerned and worried about my daughter. And then all of a sudden, the mother, instead of communicating with the spokesperson or the investigator or the person that named Fia, that helping the daughter, choosing go to some fan page, UK based, and saying all those things and copy paste some officer name and email and the picture and the phone number that is not even exist. So to me it was like, gosh, I believe that I'm gonna stay in this country more than 1 month. Because to be honest with you, I was in shock. So more I did investigate about Julia's life in Poland, so more deeply I felt sorry for Julia, and I felt sorry for Julia's mom as a human being. However, so many of you ask me this question. So many of you ask me this. Fia, what if Julia is not Madeleine McCann? What do you want to do? Well, if Julia is not Madeleine McCann, it's a slow Julia. She still go through a lot of pain, and she still need my help, your help, and all the world women help to be independent, to find herself, to learn how to stand up for herself and how to be strong. But there is one but in this case, that I have allergies towards Ney as a last name, pretty much. And Peter Ney is a step grandfather. And the Martin Ney, who was suspect in Madeleine McCann case, and right now is in Germany in jail because of another crime he committed. They both pedophile. They both have a very shiny background, and they both lived in Germany and Berlin, and they both convicted for hurting kids around the world. So, am I gonna back off? Even if I figure it out that she's not Madeleine McCann? Of course not. Because I was involved with Maddie's case from 2018 and 19 and until now. This Peter Ney could be a person that would relate it to our missing girl, Madeleine. So, I believe after we figure out about the DNA test and figured out who she is, my investigation will start about Peter Ney. We are already investigating Mr. Peter Ney. As many of you guys know, Julia received a very nice, but at the same time, threaten indirectly Julia by be quiet immediately. Don't mention my client name, Mr. Peter Ney, and don't say to anyone about a relation that could, or your feelings about that maybe my client, Mr. Peter Ney, would be involved with Madeleine McCann case. If you're not shutting your mouth, well, we are going to take an action. Ooh. I want to know about your action, Mr. Peter Ney. And I would advise to find a lawyer who could speak English and answer questions. Your current one can't speak English, needs translator or a friend to translate for him. So you hit Julia 1.5 months ago in her nose. You broke her nose, which we have a driver as a witness at this moment that took Julia to hospital and the police. But Julia was scared that you are going to hurt her and hurt people that Julia knows, as you threaten her that if you say anything about that event or that violation, I'm going to do this and that to you. Do you guys want to know why Mr. Peter Ney break Julia's nose 1.5 months ago when Julia went to his house, which is the grandmother house? It was the last warning Julia wanted to give to that guy and say, I still wanted you to tell me the truth and I will give you the chance. Did you do anything to Madeleine McCann, or am I Madeleine McCann? If you're telling me the truth, I'm not going to do anything. But if you're not telling the truth and still going to back and forth with all the BS, I will go online. I will talk about you. And he threatened her to death and punching Julia in the nose, breaking her nose. And the driver, who Julia asked to stay and not go anywhere because she was terrified what else Peter Ney could do at home, was next to the door and saw everything that happened. So Julia's nose broke right away and nose bled a lot, which the driver took her in the car and wanted to take her to the hospital, which she cried hysterically and says, "No hospital, no police, take me home." And the driver listened and helped Julia with the nose. However, it's funny. After you went to the jail, you still not did learn the lesson, didn't you? You still hitting an innocent woman that you abused sexually, emotionally, and physically, and still threatened Julia to death and telling your lawyer that I don't even know who he is, as he can't speak even English, a word, sending a letter to the place that the boyfriend living to kind of like threaten boyfriend indirectly as well, to stop Julia to come home from US. Seriously? Oh wow. The moment that that boyfriend got that letter, was shocked that who knew about my address. So again, Mr. Ney, you can't just hit people, hurt people, use people, and then walk away and then feel cool. You're 82 years old. You're too old. But I don't know why you still doing this to people. Did you know that Julia's father, which I call her now Julia's best friend, told Julia that you have been a kidnapper, that you molested kids in the past, and you also convicted for crime, molesting, raping as a rapist in Poland a couple times. Did you know that Julia's father or Julia's best friend said that you are living in a very small town in Poland, but you do have companies by your name in Germany, in you holding all your money there? This is what Julia's father, which I name him best friend, told Julia to open Julia's eyes. So we're just not going to come after you because of what the father said and what the best friend said. We're definitely at this moment digging on those information and to figure it out exactly who you are. Where is your assets? Where you actually put your assets? What country? What type of companies you have? And where all this money came from? So, suggestion to you, Mr. Ney. Don't threat Julia ever again. Second suggestion, if you want to collaborate, then you can talk to Julia's lawyer and you will give us the evidence we need. And based on your collaboration and what is your relation with Madeleine McCann missing or Julia's identity, we will see if you will continue to collaborate or we will take an action in other way. But keep in mind, keep it completely in mind. Don't let any family members of Julia calling me and trying to tell me that you are innocent. It must be so dumb idea. I'm sure it's not your idea. I'm sure that was her idea, the aunt idea. I think she was too emotional to even think what she's doing. Because if she was a smart, she would not call the private investigator and telling that, get off of this case, don't do nothing with my mother, or basically the old lady. Who's old lady? Okay, your mother. Your mother lived with that guy for 20 years. Your mother is like a black box to me right now. God knows what else I can figure it out. What this Peter Ney did and done in the past a couple of years. How many victims? God knows. And then why people says that you are wealthy, but you are living and hiding yourself in a very small town in Poland. Very poor town, very poor. And acting that you are a poor person. And then why you have Martin Ney picture in your house? Wow, you miss him so much? Did you have to holding into the picture of Martin Ney in your house? Maybe you have to see her daily basis. Who are you? What's your relation? Is it your son? Are you the uncle? Who are you? Well, so far, all we know is too many things. But we will figure it out with the facts, and we will show you how we will respond to your threat, violence, and all crazy things you did to Julia. So guys, thank you for watching, and I love you all. And I'm so happy that Julia having a very fantastic, beautiful supporters like you. I'm very grateful for Julia. I'm very thankful that you guys are there. I read every single DMs that come to me. I screenshot, send it to Julia to read that. All the lovely, kind, beautiful DM messages. That is for me and for Julia. And as I said last night, we are waiting for the result of her health and the result of DNA test. Julia is very emotional at this moment, very worried, very concerned. She even told me that if I have leukemia, I don't want to do any treatment. I want to die, which, as I said, because I don't have no money, because my parents is not going to give any money. And I said, honey, if you have leukemia or if you have any diseases that need to have treatment, I am here. People out there are here. And we will make sure that you find a healthy life. So many of you ask me about Julia's behavior in my house. She's such a kind person. She's loving. But she needs to learn a lot. Because she never had a family. When we all sitting around the table for dinner and lunch, she said that she never saw that there is a table named family table. There is the name of the family discussion over the dinner. And there is the name of a game almost every second night at the table that we tell each other how much we love each other. So she was shocked that I never saw things like that. My mother would never ask me if I'm hungry. My mother even wouldn't care if I eat something. And I don't know, everything is new to me. So she needs to learn to love herself more. She needs to learn to not be that naive and trusting people. She needs to learn that not everyone who say I love you, they love you. And she needs to know that the life is all about you at this moment, and you should not sacrifice yourself for anyone anymore to protect anyone. And she needs to know that she has to love herself first before anyone else. And she needs to learn how to be in a relationship, because she's still trying to figure herself out, and a lot of things that holding her back to sometimes controlling her anger, her emotions. It's hard. But I believe with therapy and with a nice and family environment, with understanding and patience, she will find the way to be a woman that you always wish and desire for. Until that, we will pray for her. We will pray for her health. And to me, at this moment, her health is a number one priority. Nothing else, nothing more. And I am her voice. You're her voice. And I'm not going to allow Peter Ney or anyone else out there shutting her mouth ever again. And we will make sure that the justice bring into Julia's life. We will bring justice to Julia's life. We will. I promise you guys. It's not easy, but we will do everything that goes from our power. That people who hurt her, people who harmed her, people who drugged her will pay for what they did to her in a legal way. Again, thank you so much. I'm in my office and I'm freezing. I don't know what's wrong in California. We got rain in the past of couple of days, and now I didn't put the fan in my office because it sounds pretty like too much sounds. So, but I'm really freezing, and I need to really get in to my other place, or actually get something before I'm getting cold. However, and it's so funny that I have a cold brew, which is actually cold too, the coffee that I love. So it's crazy. So I basically took that, and I'm freezing like, oh my God, I can control myself. I have to go. Thank you guys. Love you all, and see you tomorrow again, and maybe tonight late. It depends of when people wake up in Poland and way they think that they need to respond me in some point. So I promise you guys, I will update you every day about what's happening, what's Peter Ney lawyer, and the investigation about Peter Ney and Martin Ney, and what other things about the mother, aunts, and the grandmother. Okay? stay tuned with that.
Well, during the recording of this, let me let you guys know what had happened. Now, if you go to Fi's IG page, she dropped today that she's pretty happy for Julia, who's getting a platform to courageously speak up, shedding light on her violent and abusive past, and hopefully bring her closer to justice. She will be sitting down or has sat down with Dr. Phil. There's going to be an interview that will be airing here March 27th. Giving you guys a heads up about that. That was just posted about 36 minutes ago. All right. Bye, guys.